They are now being developed in Nigeria, I must say, but they are not fully there yet. Is when you've built a track record, obtaining resources from all these areas, then you now go to a financial institution.
Let me throw a little bit of light on this. Now, the mistake that we often see is that funding requirement is commonized. So you start a business today, you believe you can access commercial loans. It doesn't work like that. There are different funding requirements, and there are different funds available for different growth phase. So in some developed economies, you will even have grants for if government requires that businesses in this particular sector should evolve very fast, they will stimulate that by also giving grants in that area. If some specific big organizations requires small businesses to act as part of their value chain in this particular sector, they will stimulate that, and that could mean providing grants, which means they know that it may work, it may not work, but they are ready to take that brunt. And that is what largely these financial institutions are going to be looking for. They want to see that there is cash flow that can pay back the money. Don't forget, this money usually don't belong to them, all right? It's other people's money. And so they have to devise some kind of mechanism to help first in the safety of that money. The interest is usually secondary. Of course, the interest will go with how risky this venture is and all of that. And so the more your business is able to show that it's well-grounded, it can deliver on profit, it can earn revenue very well, the better is it for you to be able to access reasonable credit.
Yes, the Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-Atlantic University, in partnership with the KPMG, underwent a study of SMEs in Nigeria. What precipitated that study?
Okay, we were worried. We were worried because most people always have this common opener saying SMEs are the engine of growth. And so if we all know that they are the engine of growth, why are we not funding them appropriately to be able to deliver more value to the economy? This was a question that kept on reverberating with us, and we just didn't have the answer. Secondly, the SME says they are not able to access funding. And so there is a dislocation somewhere. And so we wanted to find out why that dislocation and what can we do to be able to resolve that dislocation. And so we looked at it from different perspectives. First, we look at it from the perspective of the bankers who are lending the money. We look at it from the perspective of the small businesses themselves. We looked at it from the perspective of experts within the industry generally. And one thing became obvious, or there are a few things that came true very quickly. The first is that the kind of money that majority of these small businesses are looking for is not as staggering as one might have expected. I would say, and we did a nationwide survey. With 5 million naira, you will hit majority of the small businesses. Because in Nigeria anyway, majority are micro and small. Medium is quite very small.
When BOI Weekly returns, my guests address the reasons why most business plans are not bankable. We'll be back shortly.
The agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plants to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
Now, Mr. Olagunju, as a representative of a lending house, when you saw the report or when you heard about the report, how did you react to it? Did it justify some of the things that you've been shouting and complaining about? And what did you do with that report? How did it help your process?
Well, the report reinforced some of our positions. That report came up with an acronym, MISFIT, in terms of the challenges facing SMEs. M standing for market, I standing for infrastructure, S the required support, F funding, I information, then T technology. And that was why we came up with the BDSPs, Business Development Service Providers, or SME consultants, to serve as a bridge between the Bank of Industry and our current and potential customers. Because one of the findings of that report is that there is a 90% rejection rate in bank applications from SMEs that goes to commercial banks. In other words, out of every 10 applications received by banks, 9 are deficient. In other words, they submit proposals that are not bankable. So we had gone ahead to appoint 122 BDSPs, and we are taking steps to increase the numbers. And they're supposed to help SMEs package their loan applications. So by the time they get to us, they stand a higher chances of being approved. So that will reduce the rejection rate. And there are many milestones. When the loans are approved, the BDSPs are paid some fees by the Bank of Industry and the customers, right, in different phases. Under the first phase, the customers pay between 10,000 and 50,000 naira if the loan applications are below 200 million, right? And then when they are approved, right, that's a post-approval, then the Bank of Industry pays you a certain percentage of the amount that has been approved. And when it's been disbursed, you also pay it as a BDSP. And after that is done, we expect that the BDSP and the SME in question would have established some rapport. Some hand-holding will now take place, which is what he was talking about. That's the mentoring. That's the post-approval stage. So those are the steps we took. And creating an ecosystem for SMEs is also very, very important. Look at the issue of infrastructure. We all know that today our power requirement is between 40 to 1,000 megawatts per day, but we are doing less than 5,000. That cannot be resolved overnight. But in the interim, we are recommending that, for example, state governments should establish industrial parks, perhaps one in each senatorial district, right? And it doesn't have to be anything sophisticated. Designate an area, fence it security-wise, provide electricity, provide water, right? Communication, sewage, security. So SMEs just move in, then plug and play.